mists and mellow fruitfulness. I don't know about you, but I feel a certain chill in the air. What is this? Ooh, but what is this? I cannot see what flowers are at my feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the lofty boughs. Is that how it goes? Well, it's a conker. Step 1. Preparing conkers for the game is actually very simple. Firstly, find a conker. It shouldn't be too difficult in the months of September. Then you drill a hole through the conker, get an adult to help you if you are prone to hurting yourself. But where does the word conker come from? It is thought that it derives either from the game conker or the word conquer, which is the goal of beating the opponent in the game. So they think that the word for conquer came from the game Conkers, which in turn came from different places, but I'll explain that in a minute. So the word conquer in the game, or the name for the game, came from, well, potentially to knock someone out, or conk, to knock someone out. So an old Yorkshire dialectal term, for example, has been cited to use the word conquer to knock someone out, probably because conk is a dialectal term for head, and I think we've all probably heard that somewhere. But yeah, I'll conquer ya, basically meaning to knock someone out. Alternatively, the name from the game could have come from the French conquer, meaning to conquer or to be victorious. And it's quite interesting actually that it's basically a well-known, let's face it, slang term, which has come into general use for an fruit of a tree that we only notice every autumn. Alternatively, people just call it a horse chestnut, but that obviously has no bearing on the game. Close bosomed friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless, with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core. Back to school. Didn't mind this term time back in the day. You had September to get through, but let's face it, so many little festivals in the winter months that it made the whole thing so much more bearable. I mean, you got September, which is the start of the year, and you know, once that's over, you've got October, which is Halloween, and once that's over, you've got November, which was bonfire night, and then once that's over, you've got December, which is Christmas. So generally quite an exciting few months. And this time of year has been referred to as an Indian summer. Everyone's heard the phrase Indian summer, right? To describe unseasonably warm weather into the seasons of autumn, which are classically supposed to be cold months. But where does the phrase come from? Well, the origins of the term are hotly debated, but it's supposed to refer to what the early Americans called the Red Indians, or as we call them today, the Native Americans. Yeah, so from the Red Indians, where these peoples, being so in tune with nature's cycles, would take advantage of the warm weather with regards to their harvesting. And the period of warm weather would basically enable them to hunt for longer, or at least the animals that were worth hunting. They'd be out and about in the extended warmer climate. And the harvest period would therefore be longer for the Native American populations. So yeah, it comes from Red Indians, Indian summer, the time when they'd be able to hunt for that little bit longer. Back to school. Give an apple to the teacher, why don't you? Well, these are obviously oranges, but you can improvise. This practice originated in Denmark, where an apple or a basket of fruits would actually get given to teachers to show their appreciation and support. The apple was a well-known sign of knowledge and education. And I guess with September being the first month of term time, first month of new teachers, it would probably make sense that you'd give your teacher an apple or a fruit born of the late summer months. Quick thoughts. Apple was obviously the name that was chosen by Steve Jobs and his lot to represent the Apple iPhone, a symbol of knowledge and education, eh? Yeah, this one knew exactly what he was doing. Let's sit there for a second. We've got this symbol of knowledge and education, but with a bite taken out of it. So we are eating from the apple of knowledge. We are eating from the apple of education. What does this remind you of? It reminds me of the Bible story. Wasn't it Eve that ate from the apple, ate from the tree of knowledge? We were not meant to know too much. Conspiring with him how to load and bless. With fruit, the vines. The apple is the all-knowing and the all-powerful that round the thatch eaves run, i.e. God. With a bite taken out of it, to continuously prove to us that we are eating from a tree of knowledge that we should really not understand too much. Trust your phone. Personally, I think we should have all stayed in the Garden of Eden, and Eve should not have taken a bite from the tree. Yes, she was tempted. However, if she hadn't taken a bite from the tree, we would all still be happily naked. We would not know shame. We would not know what it is to be human. So something to ponder on: the Apple iPhone and its logos and its potential link to biblical ideology. It will educate you and give you knowledge. Irony is you're now doing the same thing for it. And now the Apple iPhone has the function to archive chats and log chats. Okay, so now our phones are effectively telling us that it will hide our secrets from our fellow humans. You can trust it with its excess knowledge that your partner doesn't know. Our phones know more about us than our partners do, and they vow to keep our secrets. And with every update that they go through, they keep our secrets better and better and better. Do not trust humans. Trust your Apple iPhone. iPhone. It just so happens that the American term Thanksgiving is rooted in autumn harvest festivals. It originated as a celebration of the harvest and effectively gives thanks for the bounty of the summer. Step 2. If a player's conker is struck and breaks, the player whose conker remains intact wins that round. If a player hits the opponent's conker in such a way that it completes a full circle, known as around the world, they get an extra turn. To fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells. So the horn dance is possibly the oldest surviving ceremony in Britain. The dance was performed at Bartholomew Fair. And just for info, the use of reindeer antlers as horns suggests a much, much older root to the tradition, possibly Druidic or Viking. The horn dance is performed annually now. The horns are collected from the church at 8 a.m. and the horn dancers, comprising 6 deer men, a fool, a hobby horse, a bowman, and Maid Marian, who perform the dance to music at various locations in the village and countryside. They return to the original village much later on after this day of dancing, and by that time it's thought that they have danced and walked about 10 miles all in all. Back to school. I remember walking back from school and the leaves were falling into the ground and they were crunching beneath my feet. And I crunched one leaf beneath one foot and started backtracking to find another leaf to crunch underneath my other foot. And my mum said, "What are you walking backwards to find?" And I said, "Another leaf to crunch under my other foot. Because I've already crunched one leaf with one foot, I need to crunch another leaf under my other foot to even it out." And she looked at me and she said, "Nerves. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too." Wishing you all a really dark and wonderful entrance to this time of year. May your walkway into autumn be heavy with fruit. May your bed be thorned and cold. May the wind outside keep you awake all night. Welcome, autumn. We're waiting for you. A piece of wool or a thread or whatever you happen to end up